Hi guys, this is Pestillion and welcome to another Escape from Tarkov video. In this video I'm going to cover all the melee weapons in the game. There's currently 13 of them. I'm going to go over the slash damage, the stabbing damage, the range of them, how much it costs to do the barter trades and what the barter trades are, and then how much to purchase them on the flea market. So without further ado, let's crack straight into it. So before I did actually anything to do with purchasing and going over all the actual melee weapons themselves, I actually went into a raid. I used my two computers, went into a raid on both my accounts, and I tested out the damage values within the on the weapons themselves to see if they actually corresponded with doing damage inside a raid. And it is actually correct. The top right value is the, I call it the slash damage when you actually take a swing, which is a left click. And then the next value down is the stab damage, which is the higher value, so when you right click. Now, some of these weapons have a lot faster attack rate, I guess you could say, particularly the crowbar. I don't know if it's a visual bug or some sort of bug within the game. It kind of reminds you of if, it says the Freeman crowbar, which is straight out of Half-Life. But effectively, if you attacked with a crowbar in that game, you could attack really quickly. Besides that, I noticed the values were all very similar. As in, like, they were very close to what the actual value said on it was. And so that was all well and good. I tested out a few things with the range to actually see if there was range differences. And from the testing I did, it seemed to be correct. As in, a M2 tactical sword would be able to hit from further away. Or, say, one of the knives or something like the shovel or anything else that had a smaller range wouldn't actually reach the target when I could hit with the sword. So the range values, whilst they're pertinent for being able to hit someone from further away, I have no real way of knowing exactly the distance that you could hit because the movement is so minuscule. It was getting difficult to test. So let's go straight into the slash damage. It's clear and obvious that the M2 tactical sword, just by looking at this table, is top of the range for everything, effectively. But the M2 tactical sword has a 32 slash, whereas the X7 axe has a 30, and then it goes down from there. It's interesting to note here that pretty much they're all corresponded in the slash to the stab, besides there's a couple that are actually quite different. Now, I'd like you to take special note, actually, to the SP8 Survival Machete, which I'll get into in a minute, but it's got 28 slash. And then if we move over to the stab damage, the tactical sword is still out front with the 46 on the stab. The crash axe is 44, and then the survival machete is 37. Now, these values do go down, as in the worse the melee weapon is, the shitter they are, effectively. But if you look across to the right, the actual cost value on the flea market, so the FM means flea market, is 145,000 rubles. So if you wanted to have the best melee weapon for the cheapest price, or say bang for buck, that's probably where it would be at. It's got a high slash damage, a high stab damage. The range isn't hopeless. It's somewhere in the middle, and it's only 145,000. Or you could just actually aim for just finding one of these. Now, to acquire some of these weapons, you can do trades. The 6H5 bayonet, you trade 2 Aquamaris and 2 air filters, which will set you back around 150k in rubles. But then if you were to sell it on the flea market, you'd only get 100k. So that's probably, if you're doing it for profit, don't waste your time. You'd actually be better off selling the Aquamaris and the air filters on the flea market and then purchasing one of the 6H5s from the actual flea market itself. Next one we've got is the entrenching tool, the MPL-50. For this one, it costs you about 120,000 to buy 2 pom-poms, and they actually sell for 190,000 on the flea market. So you could actually make some profit using this. And obviously these prices are indicative of the day that I recorded this video. But if you're actually trying to collect them, that is the cheaper way of doing it. Now, the M2 Tactical Sword is purchased from Skier Level 4, and it requires you to complete the quest Flint. Now, that requires you to have level 18 in stress resistance, and it will require you to actually have a pro kill, medallion, a checkpoint key, and one of the military radios. Now, once you purchase all these, if you want to buy them, say, from the flea market, the checkpoint keys are going for around 1 million rubles, the radios are around 150k, and the medallions are around 130k. So you're looking at around 1.3 million to actually make one of these swords, and these are selling from anywhere between 2.5 and 3 million rubles quite consistently. I've just been flipping them out at every reset that I'm on and selling them for around 2 million rubles, and they're selling instantly because obviously there's higher prices. I just like to get rid of it, and it's a good way to just make an extra 500k every reset. Obviously, this price will drop once more people get these quests done and they've got more accessibility to it, but there are a limited number of swords that can be purchased from Skia. I'm guessing it's around 20, and they are selling out pretty much every reset. It pretty much by the end of the reset, there's only 1 or 2 left, or they're totally sold out. What's actually happening here, though, is the checkpoint keys are actually going up in value a lot. They started around 500k, and they're actually sitting around 1 million at the moment, but I have seen them all entirely sold out, and then them jump back up to 2 million and slowly go back down. So it's really indicative of the actual checkpoint keys at the moment to how many of these swords are actually in circulation. The next one to take note of is the Crash Axe, or the SCA. For this one, you need 7 paracords. You need 1 West 112 key, which is the one you use for the quest, for I think it's the Skia quest. And then you need 2 marked keys. This one is actually quite cheap to make. The paracords usually go between 100 and 150,000 rubles. The 112 keys for anywhere from 500 to 700,000. And 2 mark keys are about 50k a pop at the moment. So you're looking somewhere around the 1.3 million mark to purchase one of these, and they are selling anywhere from 3 million all the way up to 5. This is purely because of the fact that there's not many people that have the quest complete to actually unlock this this Crash Axe. It requires you to have search skill level 10, and I actually just reached it today pretty much purely by I opened up every single container that I was running by. I would search every single pocket and rig and backpack of every raider or scav that I killed, and it actually levels up quite quickly. So this is definitely something that you might be able to flip a little bit, but I know this is going to crash in price, and because once more people get access to this, it'll just become a lot easier to acquire. Something else I tested with this whole range of weapons and melees and what they actually do is I tested out how it works against armor. Not to extreme detail, but effectively when I was hitting an armor, it would be about half the damage. I tried it with a few different weapons. It's really difficult. I've never done recording on 2 computers at the same time. And I realized how much effort and frustration it is trying to set it all up. So kudos to Anton for all these armor testing videos. But effectively, anytime there's an armor in play, it pretty much halves the damage. I tried hitting the face hitbox with the axe with the face shield down, and it seemed to be anywhere I hit the armor on a helmet, it would actually hit the face shield. So that was kind of annoying because I was trying to figure out if it's the weapon's fault or like what's going on there. End of the day, if you use a tactical sword and you do about 2 hits to the head, you will kill someone with the right clicks. Or if you can get that face hitbox. I could get it eventually. I seem to have a lot more success in one-tapping people in actual raids than I do actually in the trying to test it effectively. Or there's been actually more recent changes. So to summarize this, guys, pretty much if you can get yourself an M2 tactical sword, it is the best melee weapon in the game at the moment. It's 32 slash, 46 stab, and it's got the longest range. Overall, it's a little bit expensive at the moment. It will drop in price once more people get access to it, or probably maybe after this video it might go up in price because people will be wanting to buy it more. I don't know, but it is the best in the game. Pretty much, if you do hit someone in the armor, it'll be about half the damage of what it actually normally does, and it only takes 1 point of damage off of the armor. I forgot to add that in earlier. And finally, face hitboxes still work. They're just a little bit hard at the moment for me to hit while I'm sitting there hitting a stationary target, but you can still one-shot people in the face. And also, lastly, don't forget, if you do want to make an extra couple of dollars on the flea market, there are options to flip a few of these weapons that you can barter for at the moment, but I anticipate that those prices will drop once more get in circulation, and there's more people able to do it. So guys, that's it for this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe for future content. I stream on Twitch 6 days a week. Go down the link below. Give me a follow there. If you've got any Tarkov questions, feel free to hit me up on my live stream or in the comments below. And lastly, I'll see you next time.
What the fuck am I doing here?
Keeping Gilly alive. Keeping Gilly alive. Keeping Gilly alive. Keeping Gilly alive.